In any city, in any country, go to any prison or penitentiary you can get yourself into. When you reach your front desk, ask to visit a prisoner who calls himself the holder of penance. The worker's face will appear calm, but they'll press a silent alarm under the desk. Several guards will come to seize you, claiming that you've been accused of crimes spanning from jaywalking to murder. Do not protest these accusations. Any argument or complaint will be answered with brutality. You'll be thrown into a cell in the deepest parts of the building and you'll be abandoned there. You'll not be there for long, but it'll seem like ages. And after an immeasurable amount of time, a guard will unlock your door and tell you it's time for your trial. The guard will command you to follow him, and you do best to obey. The path will twist and turn, but you must never lose sight of the guard. If you become lost, the cells of the jail will be opened. The prisoners will inflict all kinds of horrors on you. But no matter how much you are hurt, you'll be healed fully the next day, only to repeat the process over and over and over again. If you manage to keep up, you'll be brought to a small room. The guard will instruct you to remove your clothes, and refusing will cause you to be judged guilty on the spot. And you receive a punishment that only the damned souls of hell could envy. Once you are prepared, the judge will place a crisscrossing chain on your torso. They will be freezing cold, but you must not show any signs of weakness. If you shiver, you shall remain frozen in time, but fully conscious, till eventually this very planet that you sit on will burn out. You will be led to the front of the courtroom and presented to the judge. His demonic vices will terrify you, but it's highly advised that you keep your eyes on him. Looking away could be conceived as a sign of lying. He will inspect you, and he will respond to only one question. What did he do wrong? The judge will cease his inspection and begin to state the charges against you. He'll list every wrongdoing you've ever committed in your life, from maybe stealing that little bit of candy under the desk to maybe breaking a knee of your friend. Intentional or not, it will be listed. He will speak of most minor crimes and the people you have fought with and what you have done in your pursuit of objects. You must remain silent while he speaks, for even now you're being judged. The judge will finish his deliberation and ask you for your closing argument. The only thing that you can say that will defend yourself is, I regret every wrong thing I've done. And you must mean this. No matter what the reason was, no matter if the action was justified, you must feel truly sorry for what you did. If you've already met the holder of Downtrotton or possessed a key of apathy, is lost. The judge will make his decision if he finds you guilty. You will join the audience of the people that were present at your trial, forever hearing the misdeeds of others and the feeling of anguish and pain that resulted from them. However, the judge deems you innocent. You'll step down from the podium, he'll shake your hand, unlock your chains, and tell you exactly what went wrong with the objects in this world. His explanations may seem to be too simple, yet it's so complex that so many stay in this courtroom for ages contemplating about it. You must not do this, for this is exactly what the judge wants. The judge is in fact the holder, and if you remain in this court when the chains are needed again, he will break every single one of your bones with his gavel and leave you there to die. The only way out is as easy as grasping the chains that now lie at your feet. You will now wake up inside your own home, knowing that for the moment you are safe. After all, you've been found innocent, right? The chains have been wrapped around your chest again. They're still cold, but you're not bothered by them. There is no taking them off now, so you might as well learn to live with it. The freezing chains you wear are object 196 and 533. a reminder of sins formerly lost in time. When they become warm, danger is near. Pray they remain cold. The holder of Downtrotton. In any city, in any country, go to any homeless shelter or soup kitchen you can get yourself into. Ask the employee or volunteer, the first one you see, if he knows where he can find the holder of Downtrotton. If the worker looks around to make sure that nobody's listening before he responds, then you've come to the right place. The worker will imply that he requires a bribe before he will take you where you must go. Give him a substantial amount of cash, and hopefully he will consider it a large amount enough. He will then show you to a door that was not there before, which will lead to a staircase this building should not have. The worker will take you to a non-existent floor with many, many rooms arranged in a chaotic fashion. The rooms do not always have hallways connecting them, thus one must walk through the various rooms to get his destination. The worker will make his way through the illogically ranged floor with speed and efficiency born from experience, and it will be difficult to keep up. You must keep up. However, for being lost on a floor will mean internal emptiness. And also, be sure to keep your attention focused solely on the worker whom you follow. The rooms through which you walk are occupied with people who have been given despair and loneliness. And to pay them with any heed is to join them forever. After what will feel like days, the worker will bring you to the only empty room, then gesture wordlessly at the door on the other end, humming nonchalantly to himself. He will walk back the way he came, leaving you in an empty room. If you have any doubt in your heart, you'd best leave and hopefully catch up with the worker. Otherwise, push through the door. You will find yourself in a dingy old rat hole. Despite the effects of centuries of neglect, the room is just barely recognizable as a living room of sorts. On a seat that was once recognizable as a recliner will be a doddering old man. There is something about this man. This man just has this feeling about him that tells of a life that was once filled with pride and success, but somewhere along the line went a sharp nosedive that brought him to the bottom of the barrel. With an angry sounding voice, though unconvincing bark, the old man will demand why you've come. Immediately snap back. That is none of his business. And assume a posture and demeanor as though you have absolutely no respect for the man. That he is to you just human trash, not worthy of respect or dignity. If you're convincing enough, the old man will cave in and lose what little bluster he had. He will meekly blow his head and become silent. Now, you must rummage around a room, as though it was your own place. Open every little cabinet, drawer, and little bit of trash you can find. Take anything you like, as long as you maintain your facade of domination. Nobody dare stop you. After you've looked through every storage place in the room, march up to the old man and demand to know where your payment is. The man will mumble for a little bit, fumble over a few words, but you must force a direct answer out of him. Even physical force may be required, and if you're successful, he will tell you how he ended up in this current situation. It is a story of dreams crushed by incentive and insensitivity from rivals, of opportunities missed, of dreams dashed by the unfeeling bureaucracies, of success destroyed by the society, of a mere dogmatism. This man has had great potential at one point and resolved to change the world for the better, but the world he tried to save turned right around and destroyed him for his noble efforts. It's a story of uncaring powers that be, of close friends becoming enemies in the name of ambition, of loved ones turning away because they only cared about themselves, even after everything he sacrificed for them. If you feel any remorse at all, for what you've done to this man after hearing the story, then you're doomed to take his place. You must harden your heart, feel no compassion, if you wish to remain free. The old man's story finished, grab him by the collar of his shirt, and say with a snarl, "What do they gain from the suffering they inflict?" As the answer rips from him with force enough to bring you to your knees, you will gain the exact answer to your question. With what little life was left in this tottering old man, that will leave him, and he will sink back into his pathetic excuse for a chair. Now, you may exit through the door that you've entered, which will open directly into the homeless shelter or the soup kitchen where you started. You will feel right then. Then what little compassion or what care you've had for others you've had in you will die inside, along with that old man. The hardness in your heart is object 129 of 538. Your path will lead to only despair and oppression, for which the meek and compassionate will suffer most. The holder of apathy. In any city, in any country, go to the nearest church you can find. An old abandoned one is the best, but any church will do. If you absolutely must go to a church that is in current use, be sure to go on a day there are no services. Random strangers will mess this up for you. When you get to the church of your choice, walk towards a door and stop exactly 8 feet from it, with your arms crossed and a scowl on your face, as loud as you can, or as soft as you can manage. Repeat these words: "I don't want to feel anymore." The door should open for you, and if not, then you should go bolt for your car or run away the same way you came. Do not stop until your legs are tired out or you're home. If you do stop, you won't die, but your fate will no longer be enjoyable. You'll never see color again, you'll never hear music the same way, and the world will become quite literally gray in your eyes. You are a shell of a person, with tears welling, but no actual release of emotion. You will feel, but you won't be able to show it. But if the door is open for you, and you are welcome inside the church, you should look around. It should look burnt out, and despite how old or unsheltered the building will look on the outside, walk in, sit down at the closest pew that you can find. Wait for about 7 minutes, and a bright, almost blinding light will shine through the first broken stained glass window. Then a random door will open. It could be the front door, bathroom door, but a door will open, and a very tall, gray-skinned preacher in tattered robes will walk down and sit next to you. You're not to look into his eyes. Keep your sight on the floor and on your feet. If this preacher sees you, or sees that you have no intention of looking at him after waiting 3 minutes, he will get up, walk towards and grab an old Bible that sits on the floor next to him. Finally, he will begin to speak. Not the words from the book, but what he says will be directed at you. Every time you dream, you die. The world fades from the tiny, abandoned abortion that is your soul. And if you lay there, broken, on a heap on the floor, sobbing and whining and wailing for a mother that you so viciously clawed yourself away from, the blood from your birth will be blood of your undoing. The world that has ripped from you, in the same way that you've ripped from the uterus. Pain will be the only thing that you can register from any living thing from now on. Ripping flesh, your flesh. The only sound you'll hear, their face consuming your sight, and asleep for one last time. Can you accept this fate? You mustn't show any reaction to this. Only look up at him. Your face has to say the same, or what he has described will be the most pleasurable dream that you could reach for in your own twisted world that you live in. Wait 30 or more seconds before stating in a confident voice, "Yes, I can accept this fate. Make it come faster." He will nod and exit the same door he entered. Then comes the pain. A burning sensation will rip through your stomach and consume your chest. And then it will spread throughout the rest of your body. You must endure this without changing your expression or moving in the slightest. Blood will seep out of your new claw marks that are slowly forming on your skin, and you'll feel something sharp being forced out of your stomach from the inside. Keep that scowl. Don't smile. Don't cry. Don't do anything. Sit there and take it. After a while, pain will recede and be replaced with an overwhelming amount of pleasure, as the objects that just split out of your stomach sides into your lap, all of on its own. After a few minutes, shut your eyes and scream, "I want this to go away!" The pleasure and the pain will be completely gone. Once you're able to move your arms, grab the object, clean it off, on your shirt, mind you, and then look at it for a second. And the seemingly shapeless black blob in your hand will shift and change itself into a small key, a silver key with a chipped edge. The edge means that this key will no longer unlock anything. Whatever it's meant for or can be has been opened or locked off again. With this object, you can now control or alter your emotions of others as well as your own. Make anyone fall for you, despise you with a single look. Your emotions can be changed. You'll be freed from the natural emotional reactions and free to do whatever you want without pain, without guilt. Keep this key with you. Don't let anyone else find out about it. This key is object 362 of 538. It yearns to breathe again. It wants to be freed. They will meet. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the narrator for the holders, and I think this is a lovable series. I've really got nothing to say for this, but I like the holders, and when I do them, I'm going to do them at 3 at a time so you guys can enjoy it. In the meantime, I like to quickly give a spotlight to an artist I know who's been doing all the art that you're seeing on screen. Her name is Anemone or Arlimone. I cannot pronounce the name, so here's a link to her Tumblr. Give her some attention on Tumblr, and if you want her to do commissions like she's done for me, you can actually request it on your own, but I'd recommend bringing a wallet, as this will probably cost you, as it has done for me. You can also find her Tumblr on the link in the description, but you can see it, annotated, hopefully right there. And another quick little update on the fire situation is that I've actually moved back to my own house. I got boxes everywhere. I'm recording on a desk that has a TV that's been pushed to the side with a few consoles on the floor. But most everything is back. I am simply waiting on a check so I can replace what needs to be replaced from the insurance company. However, a little issue has arisen where the network's actually not going to be paying me for the next, 2 to 3 months. So any donation on Patreon will be the only donations or cash I receive for doing this. If you want to help out the show, please donate there. It's linked and annotated right there. Really, the best way you can donate is by either 1, sending money through my PayPal or Patreon, or 2, simply submitting a story. I don't really narrate suggested stories too often, but if you suggest a story and I like it, I will definitely take a look at it. I usually try to look at all stories that are submitted to me, but please make sure that these stories that are submitted through the wiki or submitted through some sort of creepypasta website. I really don't want to read your text document because there's a few reasons for this. 1, I can't ensure that you're the original author who wrote it, and 2, I don't know how the copyright situation works. Most of the stories I read are actually under a fair use law that allows me to read stories as long as I give them credit. And without that fair use law or fair use thing being signed at the bottom of the website, there's nothing I can really do to protect myself from any sort of copyright issues that may happen in the future. So yes, the ways you can help my channel is simply by watching the videos, maybe submitting in a story through my email, Tumblr, Twitter, or Facebook, following my Tumblr, Twitter, or Facebook so you can get updates on what actually is going on, or simply donating through PayPal or Patreon. I'm not trying to seem like a money whore here. I'm just letting you know that if anything major happens in the next couple of months, I may end up not being able to afford a new microphone or afford anything that may happen in the near future because of this weird payment issue I'm having with my network. So yeah, there's that. Have a good one.